Tripathi, Assistant Professor of English at LG Institute of Applied Sciences. Today in this video, we'll be learning about different forms and uses of have and be as main verbs. Now moving forward, as we have seen earlier, that have is also a primary auxiliary verb which can be used as main verb. So have also has different forms like have, has, had, and the continuous form is having. Now we'll look at different uses of different forms of have as main verbs. The main verb have has lots of uses. For example, to show possession. Over here we can see that the man is asking, do you have a car? We use have to talk about things that we own or possess. Another example, they have 2 dogs. The next use is to show events, actions, experiences, and different activities. For example, did you have a nice time in London? Another example we can have, let's have a party to celebrate your birthday. We have a break at 10 a.m. Next use is to show eating habits of food meal. For example, we had a wonderful meal in the new restaurant. Another example, can I have a cake as well? Shall we have lunch together? So these are your examples indicating the eating habit. Another use is to show parts of days or days itself. For example, have a nice day. I had such a tough day. Did you have a nice morning? So these are your examples to indicate parts of the days. The next use is to indicate hygiene routines or therapies. For example, he needs to have therapy both in the morning and in the evening. Few more examples. He needs to have a shave. Next, the doctor recommended that I should have massage every week on my back. The next use is to show conversation or interaction. For example, they had a big argument. Another example, I need to have a chat with John about ours. The chef and the manager had a row in the kitchen. Next type of use is to show sleeping habits. For example, she had a rest in the afternoon. Did you have a good night's sleep? I used to have terrible dreams when I was young. The next type of use is to show accidents and problems with car. For example, she had an accident when she was young. They had a crash, but luckily no one was injured. Thankfully, I have never had a puncture in my car. Next type of usage is to show traveling habits. For example, they have a 15-hour flight from Rome. Another example, have a safe trip. Did you have a pleasant journey? Next type of usage is of another form of have, which is the continuous form, having. Few examples, they are having a surprise party. Over here, we use the continuous form to talk about an activity that is planned for a future time. Another usage of the continuous form of have, we can use the continuous form to talk about an activity that is happening. For example, she's having a bath right now. We can also use the continuous form when the event or action is ongoing or repeated. For example, he's having a trouble with his car. Now, there are few common expressions with the form have. For example, to have a baby, to have a try, to have a go, to have an operation, have a long wait, to have a surprise, to have a think, to have a problem, to have a feeling or sense, to have an idea, to have a shock, to have a laugh, which is used in an informal way to indicate that you are having a good time.
Let us move forward with the third form, which is be form. Now, be form is also a primary auxiliary verb, but it has few usages in main verbs. For example, there are different forms of be, like is, am, are in present tense and was, were in past tense. Moving forward, we'll now learn about different uses of be form as main verb.
There are different forms of form be. For example, the first one is to show qualities. We use be to talk about permanent or temporary qualities or states. For example, the weather was very terrible. My father is old now. The second use is to show nationality and group identity. We use be to talk about our nationality or identity with groups or clubs. For example, over here, we can see that he is been a member of the rowing club for 20 years. Another example, I am a cricket fan. The next use is to show job and professions. We can use be to talk about a person's job or profession. For example, both of my brothers are doctors. Another example, my grandmother was a nurse. Moving forward, another use of form be is to show age. For example, because I was not 18, I could not vote in the last election. Another example, I was 17 when I met him. Next use is to show relationship. We use be to talk about how people are related to each other. For example, they are my best friends. He is my first cousin. Are you her sister? Moving forward to the next use, to indicate place, we can use be to refer to where places and things are situated. For example, the shops are at the end of the street. Another example, her house is on the edge of the lake. Next use is to indicate behavior and personality. We can use be to talk about different types of behavior. Over here in the example, the children can be gentle with the new puppy. Another example, he was always nice to me. The next use is to show time or dates. For example, the meeting was at 7 o'clock. Another example, we are always late. The next use is to show feelings and situations. For example, he is very hungry. Another example, I am very tired. Next, we'll be learning about the continuous form of be, that is, being. For example, he is just being silly. Now, there are few modal auxiliary expressions with be. For example, there are number of expressions with be which have modal meanings. For example, be to, be able to, be allowed to, be supposed to. Over here we can see in one example, will Martin be able to get everyone in his car? Another example, we were supposed to get there in an hour.
Kindly like, subscribe the channel for upcoming more videos on grammar. I hope you like the video. Thank you.